This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter and welcome you to another sports catastrophe on this day. And on this day, December the 5th, 1990, one of the most underrated Toronto Blue Jays trades of all time happened, and it helped sow the seeds for back-to-back titles. I am, of course, talking about the trade in 1990 at the winter meetings that saw Tony Fernandez and Fred McGriff traded from the Blue Jays to the San Diego Padres for Joe Carter and Robbie Alomar. Now, the Blue Jays were just coming off a disappointing 1990 season, which they should have won the AL East after winning in '89, but lost on the final day thanks to that sliding catch from Tom Bernansky in right field. A lot of people said that Bernansky tracked the ball and the camera angles couldn't help out, but Tom Bernansky made the catch. It didn't help that the Blue Jays also fucked up on the final day, losing to the Baltimore Orioles. However, the Blue Jays were set in stone. Unfortunately, Pat Gillick was known as being a general manager that didn't really make a lot of major trades, so he was not really in a good frame of mind. But after picking up Pat Tabler for almost nothing, he actually made a big move with the California Angels, picking up one Devon White for the services of Junior Felix and Louis Soho. Soho would be a little bit of a fan favorite in 1995 for the Mariners with that inside the park home run, Little League home run that helped the Mariners beat the Angels in the one-game playoff. However, Junior Felix was just an icon. He was a great center fielder. He had a lot of promise, especially in 1989. In that one three-game series in Boston, he got 10 RBIs, including an inside-the-park grand slam at Fenway Park. So anyhow, they were gone for Devon White, which actually worked out well. The Blue Jays got a good center fielder, someone with speed, and someone who could actually hit the ball. So in 1991, they were hoping to do well. But the Blue Jays needed something else, and they got their something else. Fred McGriff was a decent first baseman and all that. He hit a massive home run one time at Yankee Stadium. However, with the emergence of one John Olerud becoming a superstar, the Blue Jays deemed McGriff expandable. And Tony Fernandez was a fan favorite. He was a Gold Glove guy every year, in a sense. He was just the defensive guy and a fan favorite. It's like, why would you trade Tony Fernandez? Like, who do you have at shortstop? Nobody. Manny Lee's not on the team, or is he? I don't remember. Anyhow, the Blue Jays traded those two guys because they wanted to improve themselves. Now, Robbie Alomar wasn't a slouch. He was a decent second baseman for the Padres, who were struggling around it. Roberto Alomar actually had a brother who played for the Padres too, named Sandy Alomar Jr. His father, Sandy Alomar Sr., played many years in the majors. But the thing about that is that Sandy Alomar Jr. was gone from San Diego to Cleveland, and the Padres regretted that trade because, Alomar Jr. was a great catcher for the Cleveland Indians and a few other teams too. And then, Robbie Alomar was good. He was settling in San Diego, the Spanish culture, the Latin culture, and now he's going up to Canada and all that. And, of course, Joe Carter, before he got to Toronto, was an RBIs machine. He averaged 100 RBIs per year for a while. He was once a Cleveland Indians. Well, he was once a Chicago Cub outfielder, and then got traded to Cleveland in 1984 in the Rick Sutcliffe trade. And then, bounced around for a few years in Cleveland. And then he went to San Diego, and he was trying to help the Padres out. I mean, they got a guy by the name of Tony Gwynn, but yeah. So, yeah, both sides. It was hard to believe why we traded. In fact, San Diego Padres GM Joe McIlvaine, when he told his wife the news on the phone, the wife said, come back home before you dismantle the team any further. Now, the Padres actually didn't really dismantle their team. Early in '92, they ended up picking up Gary Sheffield, who was tired of Milwaukee's racist, quote unquote, racism culture, and would go to San Diego and become a slugger there. There was a lot of aftermath in that. Both good. The Padres did use Tony Fernandez as shortstop, but the problem for the Padres was that he wasn't really that good. Then they decided, for some reason, to trade him to the willful New York Mets in 1992. And the good news for Blue Jay fans was that they got Tony Fernandez back. Even though they traded him away in 1990, they got him back 3 years later in 1993. After Eddie Sosky couldn't do the job, Dick Schofield was hurt, and Manny Lee was in Texas. They needed a shortstop, so enter Tony Fernandez. And knowing how the 93 Mets were, well, at that time they were crappy. They were more crappy after they traded Tony Fernandez. They said, hey, let's trade Tony Fernandez and give up Darren Jackson. Darren Jackson, the guy who's the color commentator with Hawk Harrelson for many years on White Sox broadcasts, came to the Jays in spring training '93 because Derek Bell was being a little nonchalant. So Bell was traded to San Diego for Darren Jackson, and Darren Jackson then got traded to the Mets for Tony Fernandez. And Tony Fernandez actually put up 8 RBIs, or 7 or 8 RBIs in the '93 World Series, which actually set a record for RBIs by a shortstop. I still think it's a record. I keep thinking Jeter broke it, but anyway. So the Blue Jays got Tony Fernandez back. And Fred McGriff was a big boon to San Diego. Like, San Diego could hit the ball and all that. He was a decent part of the Padres. And then once they were falling flat in '93, they traded him at the deadline to Atlanta, who was looking for a big bat to try to surpass San Francisco for the NL West title. McGriff got 2 home runs in his first game in Fulton County Stadium, and guess what? He helped Atlanta sneak past San Francisco, win the NL West on the final day of the '93 season, and of course lose to Philly in the playoffs. But Fred McGriff actually did some good for other teams too, including Tampa Bay. Eddie almost got the 500 home runs. He missed by 7. So the Padres didn't get too much use out of their 2 players, but the Blue Jays got many uses. Yes, we all know Robbie Alomar only played 5 years with the Blue Jays, but they were Gold Glove caliber seasons. He was a great second baseman. He was a great leadoff guy. He could hit the ball for doubles and triples. He was just amazing and all that. And let's not forget his famous home run in Game 4 of the ALCS against the A's in 1992. Coming back from a 6-1 deficit to tie the game, which the Jays won in extra innings. But man, that was a big one off Dennis Eckersley. But let's not forget the last piece of the puzzle, and that was Joe Carter. I mean, Joe Carter was an icon for the Blue Jays. Yes, you could say, oh, he's just an icon because of the '93 World Series and all that. But the fact of the matter is that Joe Carter could still produce. He was hitting home runs. He was getting RBIs. He was a power. He was a beast for the Blue Jays. In fact, Joe Carter was responsible for the first ever Blue Jays run in the World Series in '92, hitting a home run off Tommy Glavine in Game 1. I forgot to mention about Alomar is that, yeah, he had 5 years, and he went to Baltimore, and then Alomar's career was okay with Baltimore and Cleveland. Unfortunately, Alomar will be remembered for 2 things. One, his spitting incident on the final weekend of the '96 season. Baltimore was due to play in Toronto, and I got to see that game on TV because CBC did Friday Night Baseball, and that was when Alomar spat at Hirschback. Got himself a 5-game suspension, but was told he could serve it in the '97 season, and the umpires nearly had a fit. And also, Alomar's problems that have gotten him kicked out as an ambassador for Major League Baseball and the Blue Jays. There are calls that Alomar's number 12 will be retired. The banner would be taken down, and his number would be unretired. They didn't want anything to do with Alomar. And the fact is, Alomar, I think the Hall of Fame said that they couldn't get rid of Alomar's plaque unless Alomar asked for it. I don't know the whole story, but anyhow, Yeah. But, I mean, you can't deny that Robbie Alomar was a part of Blue Jays culture. I mean, after all, he hit that home run off Eckersley. You can't, if you take that away, it's just pathetic. Anyhow, Joe Carter was RBI's machine. Of course, the 93 World Series home run. He was a Blue Jays mainstay. Heck, he stayed till 97 when the Blue Jays were like going down a cliff. Anyhow, the Blue Jays got up like candy bandits, if you will. I mean, they got Alomar and Carter, which helped them out in 92 and 93. And they even got Fernandez back after San Diego traded him to the Mets, and then the Mets traded him to the Blue Jays in 93. So Fernandez came back. So 3 out of 4. That ain't bad. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.